In this video, I'm going to be discussing basically a tactic. I'll put it under Fieldcraft, and that is three-man hunter-killer teams. This has been brought up on different websites. I know I've seen videos on them, but now I can't find the videos. I have been looking. People were pushing this as an ultimate, unbeatable militia, and it's not. It's just a tactic. Now, in this team, you have three people. You have your anti-tank gunner, who would be equipped with either preferably an RPG because it's reloadable, or they'll have anti-tank rockets like Laws or the M136 AT4s. You have a squad designated marksman, or at least someone with a scoped rifle. And you would have a squad automatic rifleman who should be equipped with a light machine gun or an automatic rifle like the M249 SAW or the RPK series. Now, there is some variations I can point out to you as we go along, and it depends on the situation. There's three different ways really that you can use these teams. You're not going to use them as your primary organization because you don't have the strength to win in combat. This is basically a harassment or a delaying tactic. But the first thing we'll discuss here is using the three-man hunter-killer team to try to slow an enemy convoy. It's not going to wipe it out. You don't have the strength to do it. You don't have the numbers. But in this, you have a road. You have expected enemy movement on that road. You need to slow that enemy movement. You need to harass them. You need to attrit their numbers, bring down their available weapons, their available troops from before they reach their objective. And it could be they're going to attack a town, they're coming to attack a militia base. And you're trying to slow them up while the bulk of your force is preparing farther ahead, or they're pulling out of the area. So first off, you'll have your AT gunner over here. He will initiate the ambush. He takes out this first vehicle. As soon as he does that, your machine gunner is here. He opens up. He starts raking off the gunners on top of the vehicles. And then he goes after troops that start dismounting from those vehicles. Now, right after the machine gun opens up, you'll have your sniper over here. He starts picking people off. The sniper's main target should be the gunners and anyone that is leadership. So any officers, any NCOs, anyone who has a dismounted man-pack radio. The machine gunner, he first opens up on the gunners, takes out the ones he can, then he goes after the massed troops. Now, you need to have a set criteria as to when to pull back. It could be that you pull back after, say, one drum of ammo from the SAW, or, after you've got off 10 shots from your sniper, the RPG gunner's gotten off 2 shots. You have to have a set criteria. Now, naturally, you're going to be spread out. You're not going to know that this person's fired his stuff, he's pulling back, this person's fired his, he's pulling back, and then you need to pull back at the same time. So maybe have set criteria for each person, with the last person pulling back being your SAW gunner. Now, the next tactic would be delaying tactic. You are pulling out of your base camp. You need to leave a team behind to slow any enemy advance that may be trying to catch up to you, find out where you're going. Well, you could leave a full fire team there, or if you're a small unit, say you're only a platoon size or smaller, leave back the three-man hunter-killer team. Now this one, there can be a pretty easy variation. You'll still have your machine gunner, your SAW. You'll have your sniper, who will be out here too. And instead of an anti-tank gunner, because if you're inside the forest, You could substitute a grenadier, someone with a 203. So you have your 3 people there, they can see each other, they're staying behind for a set time limit, making sure the enemy's not trying to follow you. If the enemy does come up, they put fire on the enemy for that set limit, you know, so many rounds or so many kills, whatever it is, and then they pull out of there. They disappear and link up with anyone else. Now the last one I have down here for attacking a forward operating base, but you can do the same thing against a checkpoint on a roadway, or say a security element that's on a bridge or something. Your 3-man team will go up to harass them. Now with the fire base or combat outpost, have your machine gunner or your sniper over here. They start putting in some fire on the guard towers, on the positions. They see people in the open, they take some shots at them. And they'll have their set limits as to, you know, how much they should shoot, and then they pull back. Over here you have the entrance. You'll put your anti-tank gunner down here. Now the base will launch what's called a quick reaction force, or QRF. They'll come out the entrance and they'll try to sweep down, deploy, and clear out the attack. Your anti-tank gunner will be down here. As soon as those vehicles start coming through, or those troops start coming through, he fires off a couple rounds, gets them stopped here, gets them all messed up, and then he pulls out also. As I said, this is just a tactic. You are not going to be able to win battles with this. There's not enough people. And no, making your platoons be just sets of 3-man hunter-killer teams is not a good option. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movement, always remember, essayons.